So thank you everyone, and hope you're having a great week so far. Welcome. I'm Saurav Chaudhary. I'm part of S4HANA Solution Management uh, global team based out of Atlanta. Um, and I'm very happy to connect with all of you. Uh, we have some wonderful customers today, and we are very excited and thrilled to present to you the gamification approach of discovering S4 HANA, right? So some of you might heard about this gamified value discovery project, and this might be completely new to some of you. So I hope this is very good use of your time, and we can follow up with each of you to do a S4 HANA virtual gamified workshop for your organization, which is a free offering or a free service from SAP, especially for our SAP customers. With that, let us get started. So since the topic is gamification, right? So team, let us start with this small trivia. Can you guess what is this number? What does it mean? 10 to 15 seconds on the screen. Anyone? Volunteers? 10 to 15 seconds. Why am I showing you this? We're talking about S4 value discovery. We're talking about any product discovery. Uh, what might be the context? Hmm. Okay, I see
We have
some maybe.
Saurabh, we have some chats here.
Mhm.
So they're saying it looks like a path.
Okay, path. Okay, okay, and I also see low, not audible. So let me increase my volume to the max. Okay, so team,
Origami.
origami. Okay, great creative answers. So yeah, we kind of use the origami visual, but the 10 to 15 seconds here, they actually represent the average time spent by an end user on any static website, right? So basically, the context is that there are already a lot of tools which you are using. And with respect to the game, we do not want to introduce just another tool, but we want to introduce a offering which provides more value. So a customer spends more than 15 seconds only when they find more value on a web page. So if you think of the tools as separate web pages, you as your in your organizations have already multiple web pages and tools, right? In your from your organization in your industry to keep yourself updated at work. Then you have a lot of tools from SAP. So the goal of this workshop is not to give you another tool, but to help you differently and make sure you understand the power of the solution to help you at your work and to help your organization meet its business needs. With that, let me come to the second question. You have to fill in the blanks. Digital transformation is blank. It's a blank transformation. What might be the word? The hint is you have an image on the right, and the other hint is you have a lot of. Just think of the top two or three reasons why digital transformations have failed in the past in your
So
organization or.
Saurabh, we have a answer from Mukesh Gupta. He says it's mindset.
Ah, so we have a winner, is it? Yeah, right. Digital transformation is actually a mindset transformation or a cultural transformation, or some people just say it human transformation, right? So with that, I hope we have got your attention, team. So this is a appreciation token from our side for participating, and we have a winner already. I see, and with that, let's go to the core of the presentation, right? So what you just noticed is that um, we tend to focus so much on tools and technology that we forget to connect humans. End of the day, it is you, it is we who work together to uh, initiate and implement digital transformation in organizations, right? All the decisions are either taken by business executives in their corner offices or actual end users who are toiling 9 to 5 or even more, implementing those innovations. So the idea was that how can we create a single approach, not just give another tool, right? But create a single unified approach where we work with you, right? We work with the end users, we work with the uh, people who matter, and we create a customer experience approach, right? So the SAP representatives speaking to you and helping you understand the business value of S4 HANA combined with the solution capabilities and innovations of S4 HANA. With that in mind, team, we created this gamified approach of discovering S4 HANA business value and solution capabilities for you. We started this with a pure customer first agile approach, right? Because we were not sure, to be honest, is that does gamification work in enterprise space? There are few examples, very few examples that has been done in an enterprise space, especially for a Fortune 100 company like SAP, right? So we started with a few pilots with our customers. We started in Sapphire last year with RAND Specialty Group, a insurance corporation in Chicago. We started with a physical version of the game with just a bunch of cards. We just had capabilities and innovations on the cards, and we helped the customer understand the value of S4HANA and how S4HANA works with Ariba, right? And also after this workshop, the customer implemented EDI integration of S4HANA with their large vendors, and they had a very good successful outcome, and they had a successful press release. So with that positive feedback, we went on, we created a physical board game. So we added a visual board like any tabletop game like Monopoly. And again, we saw more uptake. We had customers like Deloitte, Carrier, Accenture start playing the game in other parts of the world. With that in mind, we felt yes, there is a space. So we were getting uptake of physical game. We were getting a lot of workshop requests, right? And then as we were getting prepared to roll this out, then the world just suddenly changed, right? Unfortunately, we had COVID 2020 where the physical in-person game was completely irrelevant, right? So we had to quickly adopt, and we created this virtual version. So today, this is where we will focus. We are getting maximum pull in this virtual version. We are yet in the pre-launch phase. We have got a lot of customers throughout in the pilot phase, but with this call, we are actually showcasing a game for SAP India and our user group. So I'm really delighted that we now share this with you, and we can take it to the SAP organizations completely free of cost to help understand the power of S4. With that, I will now go into the game. Right. So far, team, are you with me?
Page. We understand that each customer organization contains a Introducing the SAP S4HANA Virtual Board Game, a refreshing approach to engaging with our customers and discovering the power of SAP S4HANA. Inspired by the physical version of the game and based on increased customer requests, we created a virtual version. The virtual game is played using Zoom, an online meeting application that allows players to collaborate and play the game similarly to the way they would if playing in person. We have also adapted the game to accommodate large groups and number of teams by using the Zoom breakout room feature. The virtual board game is facilitated by SAP or SAP partners, and the players of the game primarily represent SAP customers, but the game can also be used to enable partners and internal team members. The goals of the board game are to educate, identify, enable, and promote. The first goal of the game is to educate by providing a program overview that increases players' knowledge of the SAP S4HANA solution capabilities. The next goal is to identify by providing the opportunity to discuss players' current situation to help discover achievable business value drivers. Next, the game enables players by creating realistic game outputs for in-scope capabilities. And finally, to promote collaboration by using a fun and interactive approach that allows all players to engage and collaborate while playing the game. Now let's take a look at a few of the game elements. The SAP S4HANA board game begins at the board game landing page. We understand that each customer organization contains a variety of personas with different business goals, so we have created multiple options that allow you to customize the game experience to fit your customers' goals. The game can be played from two perspectives. The financial impact area view highlights the specific solution capabilities and value drivers that relate directly to achieving financial objectives. And the line of business view provides specific information about solution capabilities that directly relate
So, team,
to improving
yeah, I
the
think
functionality of
you get the flow, and in the interest, I'll share the link. Interest of time, I will now go to the game itself. I hope that's okay with everyone, right? Since we have a live audience and you might have questions, let us go into the game. So, just like we're looking at the video, taking inspiration from the physical game to adapt to the current COVID situation and also to make the game much more scalable for all our global customers to take advantage of, we have created the virtual version, which you're looking right now. And as you can see, the game can be played either by senior business executives whose focus remain on the financial impact areas. So they do not care much about the LOB or line of business feature and functionalities, but what keeps them away is at night is how to increase their revenue or how to reduce their cost of goods sold and so on, right? So this is one view of the game. The second view is what we have line of business users. So here, when we are talking to line of business heads, so you are in charge of, say, procurement, finance, supply chain, and so on, or your team members. How do you take advantage of S4HANA latest innovations, capabilities? What is the incremental functionality from ECC to S4HANA and so on? So those are covered in the line of business. So today we will play a mock procurement game. But just to show you a quick glimpse of the business side before we go to the procurement game, let me show you the game around cost of goods sold reduction. Right. So, for example, when we are speaking to a CXO who in the current situation wants to reduce the cost of goods sold, right? So here, what we have done, we have laid out all the different value drivers which S4HANA provides for our customers in the different line of businesses. For example, the CFO can reduce the total logistic cost in supply chain, as you can see, or they can reduce the sourcing cost in procurement, or they can reduce the manufacturing cost in the manufacturing LOB. So there are multiple value drivers which can help the CFO in the same objective, which is to reduce cost. And then the game shows the mapping of the different solution capabilities to the value driver. For example, with S4HANA, you have 7 different options in supply chain itself to help reduce your total logistic cost. So either you can look at advanced transportation all the way down to extended production operations. Now, if the customer needs more information, on a click of a button, you can then look at all the information regarding this capability. For example, how advanced transportation can help them. So you have the capability definition, you have the value drivers of the capability. There is also a logic or justification on why and how this value driver helps you. For example, you see improve on-time delivery performance by giving planners real-time access to information, allowing them to react faster, right? So we have also given the rationale behind using the value driver. You have the financial impact area. You also have QR code for demos available. And at each point, we also capture the ECC to S4HANA. So the CFOs normally would not go at a capability level, but they identify the different value drivers they are interested in. And then, so this is the first workshop we have with the business leaders, where they pick and choose the different financial areas. For example, revenue, cost of goods sold, etc. And once we play this quick 30 or 45 minutes game with the business executives, where we either play the entire game or we ask pointed questions and they answer. And then the business executives get a sense of what are the different value drivers which they are interested in. For example, is it the on-time delivery performance, or is it reducing the sourcing cost, right? And with that, with their buy-in and directive, when they see the value, we go to the LOB team. So we have the second workshop, which we'll run today, where we spend more time with the line of business heads, like the presidents of the respective business organizations. And with their teams, we play a game focusing around procurement, right? So here again, the layout is the same, where we have all the capabilities. So we have 18 capabilities of S4HANA core, which is laid out in this game format like Monopoly. You have all the capabilities grouped in logical colors. As you can see on the top left, the 6 different colors represent the 6 different business areas, representing supplier management, central procurement, source and contract, operational procurement, procurement analytics, and invoice management. So we have looked at customers and procure to pay process, and we have covered them and grouped the capabilities in this order, right? And then you see also that there is a dice on screen, which rolls on click, and there is a pawn, which moves one step for every click anywhere on the screen. So now what happens is we will invite all the players to look at this board, look at the business areas, and then the players can take turn one by one, and they can either roll the dice or move step by step or pick the capability of their interest. So the symbols you see here with the magnifying glasses, these are all hyperlinks to the capability. You can pick and choose any capability, and on click, you are represented with the game cards. Here you have, just as we seen in the business game, you have the blue card called solution capability, and you have the purple card called value cards. These have all the information regarding the capability. For example, I clicked on purchase order processing, and here I can see what are the latest new innovations of purchase order processing. What is the definition of purchase order processing? How does this compare with respect to the intelligent innovations compared to traditional systems like homegrown solutions, ECC, etc.? And then what are the value drivers? What are the low, medium, high impact rating of the value drivers? And also externally viewable demo videos or links. Also, you can see information regarding integrations or extensions to this capability. And then for our ECC customers, we have captured what is the incremental or delta changes with respect to functionality, user experience, and data innovations at a capability level. So with all this information, the player who had moved the pawn, he is the custodian of this capability. So he will now read out this information to the team members, and he with his team members will decide whether this is relevant for them or not. And then on the right hand side, we have something called innovation roadmap. So on click, you will be able to move to this innovation roadmap, where we can drag and drop these capabilities to current, short-term, medium-term, and long-term timeline. This timeline can be anything what you define, either weeks or quarters. For example, current quarter and next 3 quarters. And then you can place the capabilities, if relevant, along this timeline. So not only you understand what this capability can do for you, what its business value is, but you can also place it in this very simple pyramid structure and create your own roadmap so that you can use it after the workshop, right? To follow up with the implementation or to show in your internal review meetings. You can also just change the color to not relevant or parking lot to red or yellow if you feel that it doesn't make sense to implement this capability. So you can filter out the noise and you only focus on the capabilities which add value. Similarly, just like you create a roadmap to make sure that everyone is participating in the game because it is a virtual environment, um, we will have the name of all the players in your group, and then for the players and the capabilities which they take ownership of or point of contact, we add the capability names and we mention the scores. So on the game board and on the cards, there are points defined for each capability based on the amount of innovations and differentiation from ECC. So you can assign the capabilities and score. With that, we make sure that we have all the players who are participating are engaging, and also we can reward the players as the winners uh, for the most engaged player. And this also makes sure that after the game there is accountability, because then you can follow up with any specific capability and find its status, right? So as you can see, this game not only helps you in learning about S4 HANA, but also it creates certain outputs for your organization, like your roadmap, your accountability metrics, and last but not the least, uh, the secret sauce of the game. We will actually show you a value calculation simulation during the game, right? So once you select all the capabilities in the roadmap, we can select the capabilities in this very simple calculator where we have the capabilities of S4 HANA mapped to the financial impact areas, right? So here you can see the procurement capabilities mapped to these financial buckets, right? And then we can simulate and show you the high level impact of the capabilities you're choosing as relevant on the project economics. So here you can see the different impacts. And just like the roadmap, based on the short term, medium term, and long term, here represented in quarters, you can see what is the impact on your business. So you similarly, like a operational roadmap you have created, you are also creating your value map. So you can show your internal business leaders or your S4 internal team saying that, hey, this is the incremental value. That is why we need to continuously adopt the innovations and implement, and we can see the return on investment, right? So this is very important for business. With that in mind, I will now go back to the game board and let us look at the case study we have for you. So far, are you guys with me? Everyone ready to play the game?
Yes.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. And I see we have 24 participants.
So
So
maybe, Saurabh, it'll be a good idea if you can just stop and ask if someone has any questions before
yeah,
we start the game.
sure, sure. Yeah. So team, I see we have 24 people on the call. So do we have any questions so far? Do you know the objective of the game? How does this help you, or what are the high level steps? And we will have facilitators in each of the breakout room, so to guide you throughout here. Questions, anyone so far?
Looks like there are no questions,
Okay.
which is, yeah, so maybe that's your cue for the next step.
Okay, sure. So I hope everyone is understanding. When there are no questions, there are two possibilities, right? Either everyone is understanding everything, or yeah. So I hope it's the first one. Okay, perfect. So team, so let's help this hypothetical company called e-bike motors, right? Let's assume for the next 30 minutes that we are all part of a procurement team, right? Um, Mukesh, you are our chief procurement officer, and we are all part of procurement team, and we need to help this company called e-bike motors. So they are a current ECC customer. They want to evaluate S4 HANA. They're not sure, and the e-bike company has just forayed into Europe and North America after having the success in early success in Asia. Revenues around $2 billion. They have manufacturing and assembly in India and China. They outsource the battery function globally, and they have assembly units in Brazil and Romania, right? So we also have a outside-in report for e-bikes. So basically, we have a SAP application, again, a free application where we can show the financial performance of the company. So for e-bikes, you can see here how they are doing with respect to the broader financial buckets like SG&A, COGS, DSO, etc. So just looking at this, this is a peer benchmark for all the customers in their space. How are they doing? Are they doing good? Are they doing bad? Or they're just at the average? So here a quick glance shows you the red greens. So if you see the cost of goods sold, you can see the company is doing really bad. Their 95% of their revenue is cost of goods sold, whereas the industry average is only 77, right? So with that, that gives us some idea of the financial challenge. Apart from the financial challenge, you see the other pain areas like, yes, they need to reduce their procurement cost, but they also need to reduce their supplier risk. They need to increase their procurement FT productivity, very relevant, especially in this current COVID time, because a lot of their employees have gone on sick leave or personal leaves, and then they need to increase the procurement visibility. So that's a ask for the leadership. So you have supplier risk, productivity, visibility, and cost of goods sold reduction, or procurement function cost reduction. So these are the top pain points we need to help e-bikes with, right? And the goal is to identify top 2 or 3 capabilities for these pain points and help create a roadmap. And we will also assign ownership for these capabilities. And then at the end, we can simulate the high level value, right? So from a player perspective, you need to identify the capabilities and you need to build your scoreboard. So everyone clear with the challenge we have, the case study? Team?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So now I see we have 24 people on the call. So maybe we will break this into 3 groups of 8 each, right? Or we can
Sure.
keep it simple, or we can just make it 2 groups, right? Because I know this is the first time many of you are seeing this game. Let's make it 2 groups of 12 each. And
Okay.
the goal will be in these 2 groups to, again, select the capabilities which can help e-bikes. And to make it easier, let us use a color approach where the team number 1 can take the first 3, maybe the first column of business areas, which will be supplier management, sourcing and contract, and procurement analytics. So breakout team 1 will take up column 1, and breakout team 2 will look at central procurement, operational procurement, and invoice management. And your goal will be to select 2 or 3 capabilities. That's all, right? At least 2 capabilities which can help e-bike in their current challenges. Good? Are you with me?
Sure. So, and you will have facilitators in both the
Yes.
rooms, right? So in
Yes.
one room it will be you, and in the other room will be.
Yeah, we have so we have my team members. We have Bill, who is the global head of S4 customer success, join us, and we have
Hey guys.
Nabil and others. So yeah, so
So
I will
should
Hi,
I?
everyone.
yeah. Hey Nabil, hi. So I'll go ahead and create the breakout room.
I'm creating the room already. So 12. I'm creating 2 rooms. Okay. So it will randomly assign people to the rooms.
Yeah, just
So
have Bill and Nabil in different rooms. Yeah.
you and Nubil in different rooms. Okay.
Oh,
So just give me a second. I will create the breakout rooms.
perfect. Thanks. And what I will do is I will put this presentation in the chat so that the main facilitators can download and others can also download it. Okay.
I also enjoyed thoroughly the question and answer sessions, yeah, because normally what the organization faces is that they go for a product and then they do not fully realize the potential of that product. So yeah, I think it was for me a very fruitful session, and thanks for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Amit. Wonderful feedback and sharing with us. So now I will request Team 1 to share their output. Maybe one volunteer for Team 1 who can show us your output on what are the capabilities you select for e-bike and what is your
So
scoreboard for the players.
I'm not enabled to share. So if someone could enable me
Sure.
to share, I'll.
Yeah. Gaurav, sorry, Mukesh. Yeah.
Sorry, who's presenting? So Bill, is it?
Bill, yeah. Bill.
So you should now be able to present.
Yeah. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes, but Bill, it's completely black. Yeah, it's up now, Bill. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So first off, reminder: we had supplier management, source contract management, and procurement analytics. First, go to our innovation map. So we chose 3 capabilities, 2 in short term and 1 in medium. Classification and segmentation, spin visibility has a lot of impact on, if we go back to e-bike motors, on the reducing the cost of goods sold and improving the FTE efficiency. And we also chose purchase contract management based on the discussion with the team. We actually discussed another capability. We didn't get quite a chance to add it to decide where it should be added. If we go back to our player scorecard, we did have a winner with Amit, had 2 big pointers for 40 points.
Wow.
Ashok, who was just highlighting, actually, we didn't get in any capabilities, but had great discussion around really the point of the game, the fact of how we're highlighting innovations. One of the points that was brought up was customers are having a lot of difficulty understanding what are these new innovations, and he actually brought up the term of Leonardo. And what we were able to show is within the game, the innovations are embedded at the capability level, and that customers can actually understand the combination of capability, innovation, and impact, which is sometimes very hard. And then he asked the question also about how do we link it to the business impact. And so we showed the value calculator, and it was very clear for the team how we connected it back to KPIs and to their impact. Yeah, so we had a very good experience, and we had a winner with Amit. So that's it for
That's
team
great.
1.
That's great, Bill. Team 1, thank you for sharing, Bill. And Team 1, excellent work. And with that, we will go to Team 2. And let me share my screen, and I will request one volunteer. So while I am sharing my screen, I'll request a volunteer who will present what we did, right? Any volunteers from Team 2, please? We had a lot of engagement. We had a lot of participation. Just to show you the scoreboard, we had Prasita, Suresh, Prakhar, Ranjan, uh, Raghavendra, Shiva, Chess. So you can see the winners. So any volunteer players? Yeah.
Yeah. Shiva here, I can go if nobody else.
Perfect.
Oh, no,
Shiva.
it's good.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Let me.
So I think we as a group, I think we sort of went one by one and picked up one of the innovation which is of our choice. So here, I think it started with me pitching in. I picked up operational purchase order management, and there are quite a few new innovations coming there in terms of image-based ordering and intelligent approval and so on. So that capabilities is good enough because effective purchase order management always helps to bring in operational efficiency, and hence we consider it as relevant. But then we pushed it to medium timeline. In terms of timeline, we pushed it to medium, and then we picked up I think it was Suresh who picked up invoice processing part. So the reasoning is with the invoice processing, a lot of automation comes in with structured and unstructured data can be kind of plugged into OCR capabilities, where there's a lot of automation to avoid duplication and
utilization.
errors and things. So that's where we thought having effective invoice processing capabilities is really important for an organization, because that will help us to really save on our spend part. Because if you miss anything, that obligations and other things will get really costly for organization to manage. And hence we thought it is need of the hour as a short-term goal. And then we picked up central purchasing part. I forgot the name who pointed this. So central purchasing is a capability where we are talking about consolidating the requirement from different subsidiaries and kind of bringing the economics of scale to the action, where we want to really negotiate on the better volumes for the contracts and other activities. So we thought that is really important, but then it can be positioned as a long-term one, because central purchasing needs certain procurement efficiency to exist in system through operational purchasing management. We have already picked up. And then we went to spend visibility, which was pointed out by Prasita. Spend visibility is a capability to look at where our money is being spent in terms of what we are buying. So that gives a lot of transparency to make our decision to say what needs to be carry forward or what needs to be on hold and so on. That kind of insights can be brought in through spend visibility part. And since in the current situation, spend visibility plays a major role to make any decision, we thought that is like really urgent. And then finally, we picked up the sourcing part, as in source assignment, which is mostly around the contracting part, because it's a very continuous activity to identify the right supplier for any organization, to bring in right supplier so that you don't really get surprises. So that's where we thought it's more of an ongoing and hence also important. We thought it can be of a medium term plan. So that's what I think in summary we have discussed in terms of functionality, and then that's where we have placed them in terms of timeline.
Wow. Thank you, Shiva, HS and team. To be honest, I didn't. When as a facilitator and a player, I was amazed to see that it was as if we are real procurement team members of e-bikes. We had all procurement experts. We had people like Prashita and Ranjan, Raghavendra, who are new to procurement, and we had some people with procurement exposure. I think Suresh and Shiva already had procurement exposure, but everybody had equal contribution in terms of engagement. We had all the players asking questions. Right, so you can see we have in the interest of time we could only cover 5 capabilities, and we had 5, but we had participants from everyone else, like including Prakhar, Shiva Ramachandran, and Prakash. Everyone contributed. So I think as a team we did great. We have 100 points, and just we wanted to see We also took some capabilities from your business area. We looked at sourcing and contract and analytics just to see if our thinking matches, and we see that spend visibility is common across both the teams, right? So
I could tell you that's by a generic game with multiple customers. That's probably the best game I've seen played yet out of many different games. So congrats to team 2.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks to team 2. I think it was the players, Sophia and I were the least contributed. It was everyone, as you can see here. So with that, I think now we will hand over to, now I would request, just like Amit shared from team 1, I would request anyone from our team to share the experience. 1 or 2 people, anyone, go ahead. Team 2, how was your experience playing this game? Please share with us. Yeah. And can it help your organization and others? Yeah.
Hi, Suresh here. To be frank, this is my first virtual game which I have played. Probably would have played in more face-to-face, but this is first virtual game which we play. And that's why I took a topic which I'm not sure, because you can't see me. So I took a topic which I don't know, and I thought, let me think of it and give my best. And I'm glad that I could contribute to the team, which was, the team, everybody was ready to talk and ready to speak out. And the comfortness comes from the trainers as well, because it is not, everybody can go on and talk. Because the way this sessions was going, as if we know each other, and from the start of the session, either it is Mukesh is interpreting and Saurabh is going on explaining the different concepts and game rules, etc., etc. And the way he was giving us the lead, okay, go on, talk and take a lead, you can explain. So is it like it is not like a different person whom we are talking. So more than the technology and this, so the more bonding was there, which started. And of course, the training, obviously SAP will come up with a different strategies of training. This is one new strategy which at least the first time which I have seen. And thanks a lot for all of you who has put in that efforts. And because it's not easy to build this kind of, going into the different room. This is again my first experience, splitting into the different rooms and come back again. It's a magic which has created. Thanks again. Thanks a
lot, Suresh. Wonderful words from you. Loved it. So we that's what we aim to do. We want to be your friend and partner and work together, right? And thank you. Just like anyone else from team 2? We had Suresh, we had Siva HS. Anyone else? Rashita, Ranjan, Raghavendra, Prakash, anyone?
This side, Saurabh. Actually, it was really a very great experience. Understanding the technical things in a game, I think it was a first time experience for me. And I'm very glad that SAP has organized this type of activity where we can understand the SAP capabilities and utilize in our organization for the larger benefit of our organization. So thank you. So thank you so much.
Excellent, Ranjan. Thanks a lot. Thank you. So team, with that, we will now request Sophia to look at the 2 outputs from team 1 and team 2 and show us a quick visual business simulation impact, keeping the time in the interest of everyone. Quick simulation of what is a business impact for the combined team 1 and team 2.
Yeah, I have collected your results into the value calculator. Somebody said that he liked that. Now it's about time to see it live.
Yes.
So let me please share. Will somebody allow me to share?
Yeah.
Just doing that, Sophia. So
okay, thank you.
Be able to. Now you should be able to share.
Okay, thank you. Good. So hope you can see my screen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, this is a value calculator, and what you can see here, it is your selections. This is the capability that you have selected. And let me actually tell you very quickly what you can see here. Here it is your scope. On the right part is the most important measurable KPIs that directly impact the most important business areas like general expenses, profitability, working capital, revenue, and so on. And on that column here, you can see your timeline. So this is how you decided to implement those capabilities. If I go to the calculations now, okay, here it is the calculations area. This is all the measurable KPIs that are impacted by the scope. Here it is the customer's average performance on those KPIs. Of course, this is the average performance we get from our VLM database, which is actually our entire customer base. But certainly you can put here your specific customer's performance. So for example, here the manufacturing costs could be 65 and those costs could be 7. And this could be actually something else. Okay, if you have a customer, an existing customer who has already a BSR report, you can get some of those KPIs from the BSR report. It's depending which KPIs the customer is willing or able to share or what you can find. But anyway, you can change everything here. And now you are ready to start the calculations to see the economic impact of your entire scope on the company. So you have 3 scenarios to select. You have improvements. You want to calculate the improvements from a customer moving from a legacy system to S4, then from a customer moving to ECC to S4, and then here are the improvements of a customer already sitting on S4, but he wants to implement some specific innovations or some new releases or whatever. We have, in our case, we have the customer moving from ECC to S4, so we click this, and the system, the calculator calculates or provides the potential improvements that this scope will bring to the customer. This is calculated based on a baseline that we have and also some factors that we have calculated together with our value engineering team and our product management. So this is the potential improvements for the customer of that revenue. Right? Okay, maybe you can tell me the revenue again. I don't remember it by heart. Is it this one or 100?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sophia, you can keep it as it is for representation.
Okay, good. So here you can see the most interesting improvements in some critical or very basic KPIs like the margin. So the customer will get this higher margin, the customer will get this money in his pocket and the higher return of the working capital and all that. But also you can actually put your own improvements by, for example, if you can set everything to 0 and then start actually measuring or explaining to the customer what will happen if we manage to move the needle only by 1 unit to the better performance. So actually for 1% improvement in manufacturing cost, this is what we will have, for example, as a result. Or with this improvement administration cost, this is what will happen. So you can have a lot of potential here to start interesting discussion with the customer and elaborate on the economic value of each one of the innovations that you are suggesting to implement. Now I will quickly show you how to generate the value map. It will be a very small value map actually, because here you have very few capabilities. So we go back to our scope and then we say, okay, let's start with the current implementation. The calculations and the value map will be based on what is visible in that screen. So if you filter it out and actually, let's say the current, So this is the only thing that we have for current. I go to KPI, and then I say now, okay, let's update the value map. Okay, and this is what you will get in your current implementation. And here it is the scope by which you will achieve this incremental value. And the next step is you go to the next period, which is the short term. So you have 3 capabilities in the short term. We go to KPIs. We run this time we run the third scenario, right? Because the assumption is that the next quarter we will be already sitting on S4. So this is the improvements that I get. I update my value map. And actually, this is the improvements that I get, right, for the short term, and this is the scope. And then with the same way, I go to the midterm. I run the calculations. This is actually the improvements here. I run my calculations and I update my value map, right? And that's it, as simple as this. So any questions?
Thank you, Sophia. That was very helpful. So team, I think in the interest of time, I know we are top of the hours and I see participants have to leave. Thanks a lot, Sophia. So with that, team, we will close the session for today. Wonderful feedback. Love working with all of you. More like friends, and not just customers here. So we would love to, my ask will be Bill to now give the closing comments, and with that, thank you, Bill. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, thank you, everyone. I actually was having so much fun. I missed a meeting. It's kind of embarrassing. It was a small meeting, but I was hosting, but I couldn't leave the game. So we look forward to working with you individually and answering any questions. So thank you.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you,
Saurabh. Thank you,
sure.
Mukesh.
Thank you, everyone. Sure. Thanks a
lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye. This is a free service, so we will reach out to you, and we would love to run it with your organization. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.